hard to punish, good early laning phase, and scales into a big threat. And it's going to be Viper Ashe. Most likely, could of course go to the light, but most likely going to be Viper picking up the Ashe here.
So that was the ban that they had last time around. They instead decide to pick it up and ban away the Nidalee. Means that Corki, like you were talking about, is now available if Chovy would like it, as Lilia, a consideration once again. This is something that I believe Canyon was trying in their matchup against KT, and it didn't quite work out as inspirationally as we were expecting it to. But it's still something that's trying to catch back up to the win rates of some of our other AP junglers, as a Ziggs pickup here is very early.
I have been very impressed mechanically with Pays his Ziggs. I do think he looks very solid on the pick. And this has been something that they've gone to consistently into Ashe. Because Ashe obviously is a pick that struggles when you're playing into something that either outranges her, and she's a mobile. So come late game, if you're in an area and you don't have flash, at least if Pace hits it well, the outside of the ult is going to come through. I still think that it's most likely that is going to be a pickup. I don't know if it's going to be on third here, because maybe they want to get the Corki together with this Renekton and Lilia. It really is not as iconic as Nidalee Renekton, but it kind of plays to the same strengths as is the Corki pickup instead.
Just a little bit of a Draven hover for now. I wouldn't mind it if Peanut did just go straight towards the Ivern. He's looked very good on the champion. And so it's not going to be Draven locked in or anything like that. That would be silly.
Well, it could be if you flex Ashe to support. I don't think you want to do that.
I mean, it could be, but that would be too many AD carries. It's just a lot of them.
Well, hey,
and so this would be pretty well-rounded.
The comp pick this time around, Chovy has a number of counter picks that he's liked to play into the Corki. Started off with Evolution, and we got the Draven, got the Zeri in there at some point as well. Smolder is obviously one that has actually been rising in prio.
Yep. Tristana, you could just go back to again. Would not be too bad at all. And so it's going to be the Trist once more. Had a great game on it last time around. We'll see whether he can pick up a POG for it this time, or whether he is once again going to be robbed. Could be Canyon again if he has a good Lilia performance and match his teammate on 1,100 points. Him and Pays picking up that POG of the split would be pretty impressive. And next round of bans. So Rell going to be taken away. Probably engage supports down the line here for both of our teams. Things that go well with Ashe, I think, would be some good options on the side.
I was about to ask
Genji.
for the Senna. So Senna Ziggs maybe? I think Kalista lanes are still strong, and Genji obviously have a composition with a lot of early game power, but Kalista does struggle into the Ashe. Can use Lehends' counter pick if you do that. MF is another one that I think still has a ton of value, especially Leona again has been taken out of the game consistently by Hanwha.
Yep.
The pick gains a lot of value as well, and I think Pace played a clean game of it. And this to me is a bit of a hint towards that MF.
Yeah, the Braum pretty good.
Maybe they just... Okay, so that's going to anyway. Maybe just pick Rell here, and then last pick for Pace.
I mean, the Rell has been banned. The Alistar could be coming in for Lehends, sort of the other option. They could pick away Rakan if they feel like it. Or they could just take the Ziggs and then go for the counter pick in Lehends' court. I wouldn't mind it. Of course, Lehends does have an extraordinarily expansive champion pool. Feels like a Shen game to me for Lehends. I just feel like it's LeShen's. That's what it's just often.
It's time.
Often it just gets there. You know, it just gets to the LeShen's time.
And then if, you know, he can leave Pace, and if he's ever really in trouble, he can bail him out.
Yeah, there we go.
If it's really necessary. What are going to be the pickups here? Cannon, Gnar, Poppy could both be support and top. I imagine it's going to be for Doran here. So I've seen the Poppy kind of come up as a counter pick into the Renekton.
Yep. I actually really like adding that bit of extra beef into the front line as well. A true tank to the top lane. When K'Sante is banned, it's hard to kind of find someone that's on a similar level. I think Poppy does kind of fit into that role relatively effectively. Just, is it Rakan? Is it going to be the Alistar? That's the question.
So
never mind.
Support.
It's just going to be the Poppy support and the top lane Kennen coming in here.
So Poppy does already gain value playing into the Renekton as well as the Tristana, but Lehends does have the opportunity to go for some pretty nasty disengage setups here. Because looking at what Hanwha Life have, I think the engage is pretty lackluster. Like, yes, the flanks are good. Just going to be Alistar, so nothing too exciting here.
Yep, Pole Flash still possible into Poppy as well, so you do still have a fair few engage angles.
If they didn't go for Cannon, I think we could have seen something more creative from Lehends. But specifically into Cannon, I think Alistar just has so much value.
Yeah,
between what most likely will be the exhaust, combine that with the fact that you can just headbutt him away.
It's a bit of a shame that we don't get Shen, though, because Poppy kind of does a number on being able to, you know, shadow dash in. Makes me a bit, I just really wanted the Shen. If I'm not allowed to have my Briar, then at least give me the Shens, you know?
What about game 3?
Oh, that's true. Nah, that's a singed. We have Briar singed in that one.
Nice.
That's the angle. That's if we get there, because of course Gen G still have a lot of power in this draft. Hanwha Life Esports with another shot on the blue side. This time around, though, it's Peanut on the Ivern, and he is so good at this. Last time around, he got a POG, and Daisy also got a POG, which did happen off the broadcast and on Twitter instead. But that was very impressive. It was real. It was made by the same graphics team. It just didn't make it onto the main broadcast, so Daisy picking up that POG for that phenomenal performance. We'll see whether she has a good day alongside Peanut in this game as well. I do think that Hanwha Life Esports have a lot more tools this time, and it's not like pick Corki Sejuani, have 0 permafrost synergy, and the comp looks a little bit disjointed. This feels a little bit more powerful. See what flavor of Kennen we're going to get towards the top lane as well, Chronicler.
Going to be interesting to see. A lot of AP here for Gen G. See if that's enough to get them to do 0.
Exactly. Let's jump into the Rift. Game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for what could be the last game of the regular season of this year. Kind of crazy that it's already almost coming to an end.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
No, it's kind of nuts. I'm not ready for Worlds to be like just around the corner. That is crazy.
Hey, we still have playoffs. We have our regional gauntlet.
Oh, that's true. Man, what are those games going to look like? That's the real question.
The regional gauntlet has created some absolutely exquisite storylines over the years. A lot of them involving Deft, who will also most likely be...
It's like almost all of them, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, no, it's 2021.
Like, it's Hanwha, it's DRX. Now, it's probably going to be KT, because they're likely to be losing in the first round of the playoffs in Telecom War. And it depends. Of course, DK could choose to face off against KT. Don't know why they would do that when the known quantity is definitely B&K. But what you going to do? Teams have made very strange decisions in the past, namely teams called KT.
No. Had to bring it up.
Hey, look, I wonder if Gen G are going to pick T1 just to prove a point. Maybe that happens. And then they're like, CKT, it's fine. And then they lose too. Oh my goodness.
I don't even think that one is that egregious. Is Keen? Yeah, I was about to say, just going to E out of this. Going to be fine. But we have both junglers trying to sneak away as much as they can on the side of the jungle that doesn't necessarily belong to them. Canyon towards the bot side, as we do obviously have the lane swap. We haven't mentioned it just yet. And Ziggs, to me, as we have mentioned many a time on this broadcast, obviously should try to maximize the amount of plates. And guess what? A big wave stacking up towards the top side of the map. But Peanut can steal away very effectively. Smite's almost up.
Yeah, should be able to grab this one as Canyon going down pretty low. Keen will join them as there's the flash out from Canyon. Well timed there as well. Doesn't get stunned up as Lehends. He's going to have to flash as well. Gen G members just burning summoner spells left, right, and center and not actually being able to get too much done as far as stealing away this jungle.
That was a good amount of experience, I think, dropped by Hanwha, though. So for Peanut, this is really good. as the jungle is retaken and he's completely fine. Kenyon's obviously going to be behind the curve a little bit, although he does hit free here, so not the end of the world. Pays throughout or in the midst of that TP towards bot to catch the bot wave. And it does look like Doran actually sitting on a really big CS lead, so Keen definitely the one who gets out of this the worst, and actually looking all things considered, so Chovy won out. Pays did have to expend his teleport, so not going to have that available, but is 6, so should honestly be fine, especially with cookies still available. Lands level 1 right now.
Yeah, Hex Flash activation as well, guys. We have to remember. So he's already powered up. Delight moving over. We'll finally get down towards the bottom lane. Just checks out this brush for a few seconds, but it looks like they have just bought enough time as Peanut is making friends with Canyon's side of the jungle right now. As this controller does go in, they get full information as to what's going on here. Gonna take a little bit of time for that friendship to really sink into these camps. Might give Canyon an opportunity to get in there, but Smite is up here for Peanut. And so whichever is going to be contested, might just be able to take that one down. And look at this, Canyon is actually just leaving the area.
Yeah, successful high start from Canyon. You see Peanut as well. It's like, oh, Canyon actually getting, because he started on his own wolves, so he knew the respawn timer. That was able to pick that up here. And as a result, will not be falling as far behind as might otherwise have been the case. Problem for Pays here is that because of that TP, early TP, he hasn't actually been able to make his back.
Aha.
So he doesn't have a lot of mana, and Peanut is in the area.
Yep, there are a lot of brushes now behind Gen G, as Pei's going to try and utilize them, now just waddling his way out of here. Headbutt, we'll be able to get rid of Peanut, but this is also just going to be so many minions going missing.
Oh, Pei's?
Oh, Pei's not going to find the satchel, unfortunately. Bowling Ball going to connect onto Peanut, as Lahen's still going to burn down. And Delight comes on in here just to try and protect his tree. Humble Life, they grab themselves first blood, and Peanut's out of there. Top of the morning to you.
There from Pays. If he knocks Peanut back in, that would have been, or at the very least, forced a flash from Peanut immediately. Not gonna happen, and it's Humble Life again in this early laning phase is able to build up a pretty sizable lead. I don't know what the wave state towards bot is. Doesn't look like Pays ended up missing out on too much CS. We take another look at this. Peanut actually doing a really nice job, and this is very straightforward. Like, obviously Peanut thinks that Pays has just made his way back and isn't currently in vision, and then he just keeps on walking.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would have, again, I think it might have been the kill. At the very least, it would have gone with the flash. Right now, Peanut doesn't even have the flash, and unfortunately for Canyon, Lilia, she can be quite nimble, but not if you're rooted. So it doesn't actually get to extend there, doesn't get to keep the passive stacks up and continue the trade. And right now, Humble Life off to another great early game, and we're not going to let that fool us, Atlas. We've seen this one before.
Yeah, we don't necessarily know whether this means anything, but it definitely means, at the very least, that Humble Life Esports are very good at navigating good early games. Not to mention, they're very good at playing around Ivern compositions. This is another one of the worries, right? Because Peanut, when he gets this champ, he tends to look pretty good. It's on that mandatory bans list that we often state for this team. So playing against Humble Life Esports when you're on the red side just gets that little bit harder. Now, Canyon going to be taking the first grub. Peanut in position. Arrow going to be soaked by the Alistar that doesn't have Unbreakable Will just yet. There's Delight going in. Finds Lahen's, lights him on fire, but I think that he will be able to get out of there. One grub picked up here by Gen G, and I think they're going to have to be happy with that. Keen thinking about moving back towards the top side, instead going to go for a little bit of a back beforehand. And I think getting one of those grubs definitely feels pretty good for Gen G when it was against the flow of play.
Was a pretty heavy investment from them, though. And it doesn't look like Pays is really in a position where he's going to be able to leverage this into plates. So, and a push now, I think tried to maybe deny the cannon, but looks like Viper is going to be able to pick that one up after all. Viper doesn't have his ultimate, but it's still like, if you're actually getting ult out, you're obviously not going to win the trade. Viper does his barrier as well. So Pays, I think, very rightfully so, plays respectfully. MG, on the flip side, will be able to pick up this dragon, which is, I think, a fine trade, given how the last game played out. They do need to hurry up. Peanut's on his way.
He is just going to lankily move on in here. That is going to be the Drake secured by Chovy somehow, as Delight gets the angle. Chovy going to have to flash over. The Steadfast presence is so good from this. Poppy and Zeka is going to be able to get himself the second kill for Hanwha Life Esports. Lehends might just need to sacrifice himself, does invest the flash, and will be able to buy enough time to get them out of there.
Yeah, that was about, what, 30 seconds of uptime on Lehends' flash before he has to use it immediately.
Value, baby.
As some Daisy Micro doesn't actually get the cancel, unfortunately, there for Peanut. And really nice.
Oh, Keen, unfortunately, got kind of caught on a flash there a little bit. He's going to press his Dominus, and it just has flash on cooldown. Now it looks a little silly.
I missed what I imagine he tried to flash over the Shuriken so that he could set up the play, and then instead the Shuriken just hit him.
Well, Mega Inferno Bomb has come down. The arrow is going to go wide as now Lehends trying to get them out of there, but that is going to be a kill confirmed. Nicely done on the 1-for-1.
Chovy.
Kill going to Lehends isn't the greatest, but now Chovy coming on in here. Exhaust just to make sure that Delight's not going to have an avenue of escape, and the Pulverize to keep him in position. That's going to be another one, and Chovy on the board now for Gen G, and that is dangerous for Hanwha Life Esports as Keen just continuing to try and play the game.
Walk, walk.
Yeah, it's getting tough here as Canyon's moving on in here. Quadruped comes down, gonna put the little Pikachu to sleep. Watch out, Eep, indeed. Canyon gonna be able to lock down that kill as well, and Gen G all of a sudden back in it.
Oh, Doran might have wanted to flash preemptively there, because if Canyon ever hits you, you just die. I don't know if he could have. Maybe the best call was to just hold on to it there. But as soon as that tags you, you are just unfortunately going to get taken down with the sleep. Level 6 has been hit. And that is, again, a very similar sequence of plays in Spirit. So what happens is Hanwha Life, everything's looking good. They even find a really nice player. Peanut unfortunately doesn't get it. I think it was like 4 health, so it was insanely close, which is how Chovy got it. Then a wonderful flash W from Delight. And everything looks great. The fact that they don't get another exit kill is a bit unfortunate. As we take another look at the play from the first-person view. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Pretty nicely done. So that's all great. But then they overextend, which you don't get to see, into a play on Paze, who does actually delay. With his ultimate, also gets a substantial amount of the wave, and does end up dying, but then already Lehends gets the kill onto Viper by keeping him in turret range. Then Chovy roams over, gets a kill, and then Paze, to top it all off, TPs to mid to catch the wave.
And so it's a lot of money that just still gets picked up. So a little bit of a strange series of events. What it's going to result in is about a 600 gold lead for Hanwha Life Esports as everything is said and done, but it's a Drake that goes over to Gen G, and maybe they'd be happy to pay that amount for this Infernal, buying them that extra time. Next Drake going to be an Ocean. A singular Ocean actually doesn't feel too bad when it comes to singular Drakes.
Oh, it's nice. And any Swift Rift enjoyers?
Oh, that's me. Big time. Not a Drift Rift today, but yeah, Swift Rift. We have had one already, and watching Lilia's run that fast is a whole lot of fun. As Keen will be able to clear out this ward, Canyon now knows that he is not going to be seen. Throwing bowling balls around, that was a weird one, just throws it into a wall. That's fine. Ward goes down, and he's going to see whether it can be 4 grubs to go over to Gen G right now. You can see Peanut not quite getting there in time, as this ward will get turned off.
Just the one, I imagine.
Yeah, so Canyon going to be getting out of here. Chovy and Lehends moving on over. All right, some bowling ball value coming on in as Doran not exactly with the highest of health bars. That this should belong to Peanut at this point in time.
You see as well, Viper was on his way over, and then as soon as Paze showed the bot wave, immediately decided the better of it is Paze is going to get the shove, and they're going to actually contest here. Paze does have his ultimate.
Ebapov does come in. The arrow is going to connect. The buffer is gorgeous once again. As the redemption coming down here. That is a dead cow and a dead Chovy as well. Viper just walks on over, and they will be able to take them both down. Plates now being eaten by Paze on the bottom side, but there's a teleport in from Zeka. Let's see whether Paze can keep himself alive here, because this burst damage is kind of obscene. There's the mini stun, as Paze, I think, is just dead. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, and there's the last auto. Zeka's going to be able to lock that one up.
We'll see. Keen might not be able to get him. Look, Poppy's on the way. Oh, never mind. Another TP. He's dead.
Now he's very, very big dead. As probably didn't want to give Chovy the assist. He flashed it. And the explosive charge is not enough, so he's just going to back, and he's going to be fine. Keeper's verdict came out as well. I don't even think it was necessary.
It was not. Colossal wins here across the board for Hanwha as they're able to pick up a bunch of kills, get to 4 grubs. The only thing they're going to have to give up is the dragon.
Yeah, Doran as well. Getting some plates here on this top side. Keen will eventually make his way in. He'll be able to grab that cannon as well. It's going to feel a little bit better. But Gen G, after they did have that wake-up moment, things have gone back to being a little bit rough. This is still going to be a second Drake that they're going to be able to pick up for themselves. It's going to be big, as Canyon is able to lock that one down.
Again?
And yeah, that's another Hextech Drake. Oh my goodness.
I know it's my favorite Drake in the game, but I was hoping for Swift Rift.
Yeah, Swift Rift would have been cool. But at least we get the fun teleporters and stuff, and that's cool.
I do love it when there's a cannon in the game. So Choi.
Yeah, he face checks, sees some bad guys, and he is going to try and get himself out of there. And we'll be able to hold on to this turret at least for the moment. The gold lead that we were talking about before that was triple digits is now moved up to 4 as the arrow, not going to get buffered this time, but also doesn't really need to because he's underneath the turret. There's not a lot of follow-up. And Chovy will just absorb what experience he can, call in his brothers to come down and help him out. Doran going to be the benefactor of this, though, up in that top lane. Not with too many cares in the world, as Peanut will move over to try and defend this. The Redemption goes down. It's going to be avoided here. Doesn't really do anything, though, as Pays and Canyon should just be able to lock this one up. And the Satchel will just come in and pop it like a balloon. Nicely done. Doran gets another wave and will finally be able to take down this outer turret in the top lane. But I would have thought that he'd be able to actually get that one first. And instead, it's Gen G grabbing that first turret blood. So that will be able to get them back within touching distance, I guess, when it comes to those gold numbers. Let's have a look at this play one more time, though.
So in theory, Gen G can fight this, right? They have a number of people, but Lance goes in way too early. That alone isn't enough, but yeah, even with the buffer, Lance just can't create space. And Viper, if he was still towards the bottom half of the map, could have been enough. The big thing here for me is that they're not actually, Gen G isn't actually able to trade cross-map, really. Space ends up going down. Really nicely done by Zeka to move up there so that he gets knocked into the wall as opposed to move back. Because otherwise, that final auto might not have come through. Could have been the difference maker. And then here, the fact that he actually makes it out is kind of remarkable.
Yeah, I think they just kind of thought that they definitely had it.
Yeah, that's how we felt. So I think that is very understandable. That is now a 2k gold lead. Mid lane turret, I imagine on the cards here, because yes, there is a Ziggs with great wave clear, but there is also a Herald, and Peanut, he's drifting.
He's going to be able to make his way in there, and there it is. This outer turret, not long for the world. So that is going to be Viper helping pick that one up. Shelly doesn't survive for very long, but that doesn't matter. She did her job.
Okay, Hanwha, I want to get a game free. Come on, don't get Gen G'd again. Make this a cool series that's going to build suspense for what will be most likely an inevitable matchup at some point.
This will be a matchup,
but we're gonna see this in the playoffs one way or another. Even if we take into account like the craziest KT DK shenanigans timeline, even then. At some point, we're going to see. I want us to go to 3 games, Atlas. I don't want it to be done. This is the last series, Atlas, of summer.
We need at least for Hanwha Esports to not lose their first match in the playoffs. If they did that, that would be catastrophic because then we won't get this.
Unless Gen G loses as well.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. So that's fine.
Well, I know that, but I'm trying to build suspense. We don't have a lot going on, okay? We all know it's T1 Gen G again.
Yeah, that part we just don't even, we try not to talk about. We celebrate the fact that we have a lower bracket now, so there's theoretically another final. As, all right, King going a little bit aggressive here, as Chovy going to jump in on top, and that was a flash that you could do. Not the greatest of ones, as Canyon's going to be over there anyway, so I guess the consolation for Doran is the fact that if he had have made that flash actually work, he would have still been really dead.
It's not the best day for Doran. And it's not a great day for Doran and his Yordles, unfortunately. First Dinar, now the Cannon. Both of them have been on the receiving end of a lot of hurt. Hasn't really been able to make his mark. And I think Doran has actually come up with a great summer. There weren't a lot of exactly these moments. And unfortunately, in the final series, they are coming to fruition. However, Zeka and Viper in a really solid position, and actually getting on top of this backline is a nightmare. The only thing I'm worried about is that eventually there will be enough range with specifically the power of the Ziggs. Yeah, display very straightforward, right? Doran's on the turret, feels safe, Chovy TP's in, Keen sets up the Strike Breaker, and nicely found W. This is a big one, because if Pace gets Hectech Soul,
yeah,
things become a lot harder for Humble Life. Because yes, you have a really good disengage comp, but if there is a 6-item Ziggs with, it's not going to matter. I don't think it makes a big difference.
It's just going to be a very rough time. As Lehends is taking a lot of damage. Chovy looking for a bit of an angle here, as that's 50 gold going over to Paze. Canyon is in the bottom lane. We'll be able to at least pull that wave out. As
yeah, we're letting this one go.
Yeah, it looks like this is not going to be the one that they're looking for. Still.
No, I think they're just threatening so that Home Alive don't send someone over too soon. And there we go. TP comes in. Yep, Chovy gets some damage down, but not going to take the turret. Nice TP there from Doran.
All right, Canyon thinking about a little bit of an angle here, as they do have the option of putting Delight and Peanut to sleep. They're not exactly priority targets here, as Zeka is going to be able to help this wave move up. And by help this wave, I mean the wave isn't there because Ziggs. They're going to vacate though, so that turret is not going to be here for very much longer. Still only 2,000 gold. I mean, this gold lead, it's so hard to extend leads against Gen G.
No, I
swear. Like, it's the most impossible task, because oftentimes you can find a few advantages and then you can use that to try and suffocate your opponent out of gold. It just doesn't work.
As just another form of Ziggs that you just, it's a Yorda, you put it in the side lane and then it gets turrets and it gets them very rapidly. Yes. Unlike Ziggs though, Tristana's almost impossible to punish, and now Chovy said his 2-item power spike. So if you leave him alone with a turret for seconds, it is going down. And I mentioned the disengage your whole life, top tier. You have 280 carries, both of which are in a really good spot at the moment, right? 2-item spike, just now hit for Zeka. Viper, I imagine, is getting very close. Actually, kind of shocked that he hasn't finished his Triforce yet, even with the blade already being done, with how far ahead he is, but that's going to be a really big spike. So that's looking great. But outside of Delight, Flash Go, you don't have that much engage, right? Like that's kind of the main thing, unless you can hit an arrow. But I do think that when there's an Alistar on the enemy team, when there's a Renekton on the enemy team, that is a bit harder. So you need to be to every objective first, and to their credit, they have been so far, which is why I think they've looked so good. Look at the control as well here towards that dragon. They've denied Soul Point. But after last game especially, I can't just help but feel that we're one mistake away from Gen G somehow acing them, getting Baron and like 3 turrets and ending the game. And I don't want that to be the case. I don't like. It rubs me the wrong way.
And it's not how it should go. That's absolutely true. I feel like Humble Life Esports should have an extra mistake in them if this is going to be a loss, just because they have built up such a great early game so far. They also have an Ivern, which can really help delay things. And Peanut with his Redemption Moonstone, as well as the Oblivion Orb. Like, this is a big spike in power that he has available to him. As Daisy pops over the wall, they're not able to stop Lehends from going back home. And 2 minutes on this next dragon. That is likely the next port of call for things that could happen, unless Delight decides that he wants to kill someone right now. That is going to be Canyon tanking the first salvo. He's going to flash away. Light goes down to half health, but they get the flash out from Canyon. That's probably what they were looking for.
That's a really big win. They don't invest too much themselves, only using the Ignite and the arrow, which both, or the arrow at least will be up. But Canyon not having flash available, I think, is actually a really big deal.
All right, well, there is Lehends making his way in. Good satchel there as well onto Viper. Mega Inferno Bomb to take him down. And now we're slicing forward. Keen looking for Peanut, doesn't get him, but they get so many flashes out of this play. Only Doran and Zeka with those available. Oh no, Gen G, don't do it again. It's not Baron time.
I don't actually. This time, I think they really can't do it.
All right, well, maybe they just killed Delight instead, as the satchel was gorgeous. Still Delight making his move out to flash forward, and Chovy says you are not getting away this time. Him and Paze, they're the Yordles on this rift, and Doran, he's trying to get himself out more. explosive charges being thrown around, donated towards this little cannon. And let's see whether Doran can actually get out of here. Keen might be able to find a stun on top of him. The teleport will get him out. And Gen G, I don't think they're going to be doing Baron, but they are going to win the fight.
Disaster averted, but still a very bad trade, because the one advantage you got there, immediately gone, and it's just a big mistake from Viper. Walking up to try and arrest Pace, even with the Iron, that's one thing. But Lehens is right there!
Yeah.
That's an Alistar! And then, yeah, a lot gets invested, but they get the kill. So it's 100% worth it. Now, what was a really big win. Again, I want to reiterate that, because no flash on Lilia means that it's so much harder to set up these aggressive sleep plays. Ends up being multiple flashes invested. Doran has to use his flash, which is a really big cooldown for the upcoming fight.
Okay, so Soul Point is being picked up here by Gen G. Looks like that's going to be given up on, though, because Humble Life Esports trying to take this Baron. Chovy is almost here. But Gen G, they're looking for a flank angle. We're going to try and get Keen in here. Yeah, and it looks like it's not going to be 50-50able. Especially with these minefields that can be put down, things like this. Is now Chovy going to try and transfer this into a push in mid as Viper once again caught out of position. Mega Inferno Bomb going to take him down. And Gen G will have them corralled. Doran in trouble. It's Yordle v Yordle. And Doran will be taken out of this one. That is Chovy finding another reset. Hops back over the wall. Keen might just be dead. But they still have to try and flash away. Canyon walks forward, spins around a little bit. It was a cute pirouette, but now it's time for a cute Baron for Gen G.
History repeats itself, Atlas. All Gen G need are a single fight. And it looks like the Baron not going to go.
Not going to be Baron, okay.
But the Soul Point's still going to go. And I want to see, is it just the Blast Cone? It's Zeka. I think it's Zeka with the auto.
Wasn't it Doran? I feel like Doran did like a fadeaway auto on it. I don't know.
It was one of the two.
I don't want to give blame unless I'm entirely sure.
But regardless, that might be it.
Yeah.
That might be the game.
That is not a Blast Cone that they wanted to take.
Oh, and your Ashe as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel fantastic, so that is going to be Gen G locking down Soul Point, like you were talking about.
Because I was thinking that it was like a Satchel, or like someone on...
Yeah.
It was Zeka, actually getting confirmation from Ox here.
Got
it was indeed... Yeah, I think it was the... Because the Corki looked like... it must have just been a misclick. And Zeka, I think, has been so much more consistent. So he's going to feel very bad about it. It's not done. They still have a gold lead.
Yeah.
Humble Life still have an amazing front-to-back teamfight composition, but if they do end up losing this game, those are the moments you're going to look towards. As now we are K-ramming Atlas.
Yep, Daisy is going to be taken down first, so it's an honest 5v5, not a 6v5. Humble Life Esports had access to before.
Oh, Pace. I know what he wants to get with this back.
I think he wants to go to the hat shop. Hat shop, maybe?
Oh, yeah. And get a cool, classic style, you know, none of that newfangled stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Good old classic
the
witch
wizard
hat.
cap. You love to see it. That is going to be completed now. See what house he's going to get sorted into. As Gen G catch this wave. Humble Life Esports have had a lot of control on this Baron side river, as the arrow going to be buffered there once again. Chovy has been excellent at that. And that was even with Keen kind of moving out of the way so that he had to do it quite late, but still. Nicely done.
Definitely the right call, I do think. If they turn on Keen, he's not that tanky.
No.
He is if he's, you know, if he's in the back line and he's queuing people and he's kind of moving in and out.
Look at his bargain bin.
Yeah, he's not actually finishing items, because items are not cool.
They're expensive as well.
They really are. And Chovy and Pace, they have money. Keen, unfortunately, a bit of a...
Yeah, Chovy's got... Pace has got a lot of money. That's, once again, like, it's the same build as we saw earlier, but, like, just minus the tier.
Okay, that's just... I was about to say, like, are they just clearing? Which it is the case. That is going to make this a lot harder, because the zone control and the denial of area that Gen G have is really big between the bowling balls And between the threat of this Ziggs and his E, his mining, or his mine rather, I want to look at the pressure that's being put on Gen G here. There's going to be a turret at the very least to the outer. I don't think Humble Life rather really want to invest a TP, sending people over for the inner, but that's still more gold going in. And now it took Gen G a lot longer, but the gold lead has been reclaimed. It's just slight, but they do have Soul Point, Atlas, and that is a pretty big deal when you have this combo of champions in Paze and Chovy.
It's gonna blow up a cupcake on his way out. Oh, that's very cute. Okay. Yeah, I think nothing's going to be decided until a Baron actually goes down. I think Gen G have gotten pretty close, haven't wanted to risk too much. But Humble Life Esports, if they get the setup, they are still very dangerous. Having a look down the line, I mean, CS numbers still very, very even in the jungle. As speaking of the jungle, Peanut could be in trouble here. Mega Inferno Bomb, and that is Peanut staying alive. Never mind. It's all too easy. Is Doran just going to get jumped on? Oh god, that's a jump scare. That scared even me. That's a solo kill for Chovy. And sometimes you're just not allowed to be walking there.
Doran just wanted to help his buddy, man. He saw Peanut in trouble.
Yeah. I reckon, you know...
He just wanted to help.
And we know Valdez, he's from New York, and he knows that people are sometimes just walking here. And he was just walking there, but then he wasn't allowed. It's so unfair. It's going to be the Baron now started up. Let's see whether Humble Life Esports can actually find an angle here. There's a teleport up for Doran. That is a big deal because he might be able to affect this player's Keen. Already out of here. He's already teleported in as well. And he buffers the Keeper's Verdict. Are you kidding me? The Baron is going to be secured here by Gen G, but now...
OTP.
This could be the TP angle as Keen. Mega Inferno Bomb, he's going to take him down in the turn. It was just not good enough. They take out Paze, but Chovy's like, oh, you want more, good sir? Yes, don't mind if I do, as unfortunately Zeka a little bit too late to this one. So the Baron does go down, and Chovy showed us that you can indeed buffer a Keeper's Verdict.
Atlas, I have a feeling that Chovy will not be robbed in this one.
Not this one, yeah.
I don't think it's happening. Oh my god, Doran. The ward there, I think, being the big thing. Chovy averts his pathing. And then right here, it looks like Humble, maybe even Ankle Keen is out of the fight right from the get-go.
Oh my god!
Buffers.
He rebounded himself off Baron's forehead so that he could stay there. That's what it looked like to me.
Reverse bungee jumping, Atlas. And then, oh my god, the fact that Ivan tries to take down the Renekton, and then Pace gets the alley-oop from a distance. Doran, yeah, they use double TP as well, which means that they can't contest the Hextech Soul. And that's Hextech Soul for Gen G, and we were afraid this was going to happen, and it happened right in front of our eyes, Atlas.
And the game 3 is slipping further and further away from us.
This was a 6-game day.
And instead, are we just going to be 4 gamers? That's not what we want on the final day of the regular season. And you know what, maybe, okay, playoffs can make it up to us, right? If we get only 5 gamers, then I will forgive you, LCK, for this day of not 6 games. That's how they'll earn it. Oh god, Zeka taking so much damage here. Lehends finds himself alone, and Daisy's getting annoying. A circle does come down behind them, but Humble Life Esports do that walk strategy, and that is going to get them out of the way. This
Look at that!
Is disgusting.
That's not fair!
What is going on? The Lilting Lullaby comes on down there as well as they're looking for Peanut, and they'll find him. Not able to buffer it is Chovy, so he's going to be traded. But look at the Hextech Soul, man. It doesn't matter if they lose multiple members. They still just can't stick around.
They're getting pelted by orbs and lightning.
There's
That's
so many orbs. You are so right about the orb problem.
Another orb!
Yeah, another orb. Zeka's going to have to go home. He's going to write an angry email about the spheres. All right, Mega Inferno Bomb, that's a circle. That's not an orb. It's still very scary, though, as Viper is going to get exhausted. That's not going to keep Lehends... Oh, never mind. It is going to keep Lehends alive, because of course it does. Viper is going to show mercy to his former teammate, as this inhibitor is also going to go down. So Gen G, 2 inhibs. Elder is going to be up in 4 minutes' time, but I don't know whether the game is going to be up in 4 minutes' time because Gen G really have put their foot down on this one.
Look at this.
Look at the fun and interactive gameplay that HaMaLife Esports are dealing with now.
That's after they have dodged, as Delight, again, he's trying so hard on this puppy, man. After they already dodged the Zigzeld, which is supposed to be like the big thing.
Yeah.
That you dodge and then you're not in trouble. Pace has been so funny with these builds, man. Oh, just consistently using Keen and Lahens as a setup. They do the layup, he dunks it down.
I like to imagine that this is all based on the team having really good coordination and Paze being really good at pressing his F keys. So that he can always just find the guy that's talking so that he can just throw an ulti right on top of him.
It might be. I don't. It might be also that Lahens is just like yelling at him.
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
Bro!
Yeah, bomb! Bomb, 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 bomb! Maybe we can. It might be on one of the shows later.
I hope so. I love
hear about it.
I love
mic check.
The mic checks us now. HaMaLife trying to hold on. Do note.
We hex flash it. Lahens kind of regrets it. Or does he? Actually, I don't think so. As Daisy going to get a double knockup. That was pretty cute. Redemption going to be avoided. Circle, a little bit less scary when it's coming from HaMaLife Esports.
There's no flank ward.
Or
we can't get a big door and flank. And look at this. Thank you, Observer, showcasing that the waves are shoving in. There's 2 supers in the bot wave. They have to be answered. And Gen G can play it slow and steady. They're taking down the turrets is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Tristana are pretty good at demolishing turrets.
Oh, Atlas. It's dire. It's dire. It's really not great.
And you're looking at this and you're like, oh, they lost an inner turret and like that's bad, but like they can hold on. They can't. Their base is already destroyed. And the thing is, it only gets worse because in under a minute, you've got the Baron coming up, and then a minute after that, you've got Elder coming up. And so this is the easiest time for you to possibly find a fight. As Chovy, not going to risk it against Delight, actually showing him a lot more respect this time around, as you can see there.
He just got his opposition procced by a lightning bolt from Paze.
Oh no.
It's not good.
It's not very celestial of him. Mercurial Scimitar is actually already completed here by Chovy. He used it in the last fight to cleanse a Mark of the Storm stun. Doran managed to get out. Okay, HaMaLife, they have at least exited their base somewhat. They've pushed out the bottom lane a bit. They might be able to team fight if the cannon can actually get there. Teleport's at the ready. As Gen G, they're going to start the fight. No Pulverize going to be found here as Lahens already going down low. The Redemption does a lot of work, and into the backline goes Doran. No exhaust to come in really at the beginning of that one, but still just no damage. And Chovy going to stand his ground. Look at the health bars. They are still up. They're alive, but it just feels like for not that much longer. The most dangerous cupcakes are raining from the sky. And Gen G, they push them away, but not actually able to get any kills. Just almost every flash and summon a spell under the sun.
This is why we value Hextech Soul so highly. Every single time you can see the chip them. Oh, what? What? Yeah. It's level 18 Ziggs, Atlas.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Did he actually, was he in auto range for a short fuse? Was that what made him go boom? As, all right, Headbutt Pulve is going to connect there onto Doran. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. Doran might want to... Oh, God! Thankfully, he's so short. He's able to walk underneath the bouncing bomb.
He saw it go above his head!
Yep, and I do have to let everyone know that even if he was a taller champion, it still wouldn't have hit him. That's just how the ability works, but that's still fine. It's what it looked like to me.
Oh, and wait. Yeah, you have to... Well, it's not going to work, but you have to try.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go for the cheeky Eld angle. This is the cheeky win the game. That's the strategy that they're looking for. Another teleport to come in. Another teleport to come in as Canyon, watch out, Eep. And second turns up, almost dead. He does have to cleanse, but he can't cleanse death as the Nexus turrets are going to be going down once again. Gen G looking like another 2-0 in the books here, and it's looking like they're going to successfully break their own record when it comes to game score as well. 32 at the end of this season.
If you took away the nameplates